Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 1474. Happy Sunday. And I forgot to update YouTube. It's already 9:30 and I typed out the description and I came over to StreamYard. And normally, so what I do to start a Hobby Evolution is I'm in StreamYard and I create the live stream, the title, and then you create the description, you put in your links, and then you go into the StreamYard, the back console of StreamYard, and then you have to go edit with YouTube. So that's where I put the thumbnail, I turn on monetization, all that stuff. So which only takes me a few seconds, but it's another step. So this morning, I'm still congested. I'm still blowing my nose. I'm on like day 9 of this crap. So I slept in and I haven't had a sip of my coffee yet. So I come in here and like, oh, I'm ready. Let's hit live. And I'm like, I think there's something I'm missing. So yeah, I forgot to go into YouTube and screw it. Here we are. Welcome. So it is Sunday. It was so and it's probably good that I didn't have anything going on this weekend because I've got like a ton of crap going on over the next few months. So it's good that I guess the timing of this crud still yawning. I didn't like sleep through. Ernie got I think I woke up and then Ernie wanted to go potty this early, like at 6 this morning. I was gonna get up and I'm like, I can go back to sleep, and I went back to sleep. But I didn't have anything this weekend, and the weather sucks. So I got a lot done yesterday. I was very productive, and I think going into yesterday, I think when we were on Hobby Evolution, I only had like 80 orders to ship. So I got that done by lunchtime. And, after I think I watched Hobby Hotline and hammered everything out. So then, which was kind of my goal because I had not curated my lots for this afternoon. I only had like 4 or 5 put together. I want 20. So Cubs were on at 120, beat the White Sox again, going for the sweep today. Sorry, Zach. No, I'm not. No, I'm not sorry. And so I'm like, this is perfect. 120. I'll watch the Cubs and put these lots together. It actually took me longer. It's taking me longer. I think I'm still short of 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And I'm starting on 19. So I've got 2 more to put together. I think I put 21. So after this, because I want to get organized. Organized. I say that a lot. So I put those lots together. It was going on like 5 o'clock. I think it was in the 4 o'clock hour. And another yawn, man. Wake up. Let me drink some coffee. So it was like crappy weather. So I did take Ernie for a walk. But other than that, like it didn't leave the house. And so I was getting a little cabin fever. And it was like 4:30. I'm like, I need to go somewhere. I need to do something just to get out of the house. So it was great timing because I'm low on envelopes. I need to get some cash boxes for the card show for taking admission. So I'm like, I'm gonna go to Walmart, and in true like husband fashion, I effed up. So I tell my wife, I'm like, I'm gonna run out. I need to get some envelopes. So there was kind of a side reason I wanted to go out because I wanted to see if there were any Bowman baseball cards. So I'm like, but for whatever reason, I chose to go to Walmart, the Walmart that doesn't typically have, good baseball cards. They had a lot of football cards. I don't know if it's any good stuff, but a lot of football cards. No Bowman, no baseball at all. Not even a single Packer box. So she's like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "I'm gonna go to Walmart." And she goes, "Oh, see if they have any of this." And it's we got to give Ernie a bath before we leave. Before mom comes up, she's like, "I cannot have Ernie stinking like this when your mom comes." Like, okay. And I'm like, my mom has cats, so cats shit in a box, so it's like my mom's gonna be okay with Ernie smelling. Um, so it's Burt's Bees oatmeal conditioner for dogs. Like, okay. I'm like, that's pretty that's a pretty memorable. I can get this. I can take care of this. I am the man for this job. So I go to Walmart, and there was there's a lot of, this is a small Walmart. It's not a super center. So the cards are in not the same location they are in most Walmarts. So, and it's usually pretty crowded because it's right, like kind of by the registers, but it's where people funnel from like the store to the registers. So it's usually pretty high traffic area. So as I'm going and I got people behind me, there's people walking. I'm like, I'll catch it at the end. Because anyway, so I go back to the dog. I'm like, perfect dog section over here. Burt's Bees. Perfect. Boom. There it is. Burt's Bees oatmeal shampoo. Yeah, I did it. Put it in my cart. I go to the office section. I pick up a couple cash boxes. I pick up like 20 boxes of envelopes. I go back, no baseball cards. Okay. I check out. As every time the self-checkout doesn't read my credit card, happens every time. Yoo-hoo, ma'am, come help. It happens every time. You have to do something, and I think they have to end up swiping it because the chip reader doesn't work in those things. So anyway, checkout. I pondered going to Target because I figured Target would have baseball cards, and I forgot. And now it's like, damn it, I should have went to Target because it wasn't only baseball cards I was looking for. I needed large team bags, and I don't need to buy team bags in bulk. But like if I buy like a couple here and there, like when I make a Target or Walmart run, every once in a while, I'll buy a pack or two of team bags because I basically reuse them. But then every once in a while, and especially now that I'm doing eBay Live, I'm using team bags a lot more, selling, volume to customers in a, more fat in a more volume, I guess. So maybe I should buy some in bulk. But anyway, right now I can just buy a pack here and there. So I'm pondering in my car and I'm pulling out of the parking lot at Walmart and I'm like, I'm going to run to Target, see if they have any Bowman. And I'm like, you know what? I don't need, I've got my auctions already set for Sunday. I've got plenty of baseball for Monday morning's auction. And that's the last auction I run because I also failed to remember that this flight is actually early morning on Thursday. For some reason, I was thinking it was in the afternoon. So Monday, and maybe I pop on Tuesday. It'll be like a pop-up like I did last night. So I'm like running all this through my head, and it's like I don't need to get any Bowman. Plus, it's been over a week since release. It's not as sought after as it was a week ago. So I'm just gonna skip the Target. And then when I got home, I'm like, shit, I needed team bags. That's why I wanted to go look at baseball cards. So I'm proud because I found the Burt's Bees oatmeal shampoo. But guess what? That's not what my wife asked for. And I proudly pull it out of the bag. And I said, I found it. Exactly what you were looking for. And she goes, this is shampoo. I'm like, that's fuck. I failed, but I tried. She goes, at least you tried. At least you remembered. Because half the time I don't even remember. Like, did you get I forgot. That's the only thing you asked me for. And I forgot. So I think she's going to make do in bathing Ernie in the oatmeal shampoo as opposed to the conditioner. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of the coat. the dog's coat. I don't know why you would use I mean, shampoo just makes sense, right? For a bath, I guess. Maybe not. So I get home and I've got my envelopes. I didn't need to use them because I was pretty much caught up. I think by that time because I didn't sell too many buy it now orders yesterday. So by that time it's like, now what? Like I'm bored. Like I'm completely caught up on shipping. I don't really need to list much. I've been neglecting buy it now. It's like I'm moving stuff on live. Like now what do I do? So I'm like, so I go upstairs and I'm like, maybe I'll do a live tonight. Like I'm literally gonna lay on the couch tonight, and I don't want to do that. I'd rather make a few bucks. So we don't have any plans. Like if I spend the night on the couch upstairs, I'm just gonna be scrolling Twitter and Facebook, and that's it. Waiting for eBay buy it now sales to come in. And it was kind of a crappy buy it now sales day. It was probably because a lot of my orders, a lot of my customers from last night's sale are probably coming back today. So I don't think a lot were probably paid for last night. So my let's go see what my results were from at least what was paid for yesterday. Oh, it was good. It was good, even with a lot of outstanding payments. Okay. So ended up being good, but I think most of that was probably from eBay Live and ended up paying for it. But anyway, so I go upstairs and it's like, what are we going to have for dinner? And it's like 6:00, and tell my wife, I think I'm going to go live tonight. She's like, well, what time? And I'm like, I don't know, like 7:30. Like it's just a pop-up. Like I'm just going to do a pop-up because I'm bored. I don't have anything going on tonight. I don't feel like laying on the couch. I've just been doing nothing all day. Well, I've been sorting and shipping, but I don't feel complete. So I need to do an eBay Live. So she's like, okay, what do you want to do for dinner? And I'm like, I don't know. So I'm going through and I'm like, how about stir fry? Because I picked up like some stir fry kits at Aldi. And she's like, no, it's spicy. And I'm like, well, and I'm going through like the frozen stuff that I bought. I'm like, how about chicken fried rice? And she's like, is there enough for the both of us? And I'm like, I don't know. And she's like, okay. And she's like, well, I'll call Imperial Garden and I'll order some appetizers. And I'm like, all right, I can make the chicken fried rice. You put in the order, whatever you want, and go pick it up. The problem is Imperial Garden's, I don't know, 15 minutes, probably a 15-minute drive. Maybe not quite 15 minutes, but more than 10, between 10 and 15 minutes drive one way. So I'm like, okay, we got to figure out how long it's going to take. And then we got to, so I'm doing like some time math. It's already, it's 6:15 by this point. So I got to wait to make the chicken fried rice. She's like, nobody's answering. It's just going to voicemail. The voicemail's full. I'm like, okay. And she's like, well, just make the chicken fried rice. I'm like, okay. So I open the chicken fried rice and she's like, oh, I got them. Oh, because chicken fried rice is only going to take like 10 minutes. And she's like, it's a 40-minute wait. I'm like, okay, we can't do that. So then my wife comes in and she's looking around. She's like, oh. And I just went grocery shopping. So like, we've got stuff. Because I'm like, do you want burgers? I have like burgers. So I think tonight, because I don't want the burger meat to go bad. There was like some manicotti that I like, it's already made that you just put in the oven. Of course, it was 40 minutes. I'm like, okay. So she's like, just make the chicken fried rice. She's like, ooh, that's not a lot. We have rice bowls. So she's like, I'll just nuke some rice bowls and we can stir it in. And it was okay. It's not a get again. The chicken fried rice, not a get again. But also, to be fair, chicken fried rice, not really a meal, right? So I'm like, you know what? And I didn't plan any of my live. It's just like, I'm just going to see what a pop-up event would do. So finish eating. It's like 7:50. I'm like, oh, crap. So I came downstairs and like I was like literally created my event 15 minutes before showtime. Like we'll see how this does. Saturday night, no notice. I'm like, if I make $200, I'll be happy. And I'll put a 100 auctions up. If I can average $2 an item, like I think that's good. Now, what happens when there's more people in the room, I end up putting like better stuff. Otherwise, it's like, well, I'll put this stuff up just because I don't want to put really good stuff if there's nobody in the room, nobody to bid it up, right? So, boy, was it successful. I more than doubled my expectations on the 100 items, and it was a good crowd. Like, I don't know if we got over 200 or not, if we hit 200 in the room, but sold. I think only a couple items went unsold. We just reran because they were shell listings. The one problem that I'm running into is, I've got people in the chat, which I love, asking for this, and that. And it's like, okay, let me find it. And I'm like, I know, like, I want Bills, I want Steelers. I know I've got plenty of that, but it's finding it. I want Josh Allen. I got Josh Allen. I just don't know which box. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 boxes of eBay Live inventory. So now it's, I think today, what I want to do is after I go live, I've got to adjust today's 1 o'clock auctions, the shipping. I think I failed to put the correct shipping in. So I want to change that. And then I want to start, okay, here's the baseball box. Here's the football box. Here's the basketball box. And, I had a couple people hockey, and I ended up finding a couple hockey. I found an Ovechkin card and I found a Gretzky card. So, and the person that requested bought both of those cards. So that was good. But yeah, successful. So upcoming eBay Live schedule, I've got in the description. 2 shows today, 1 o'clock, the Progressives. I've talked about this the last few days. What I do is I've got them preloaded. I showed off yesterday what's in those lots, or what's, you can kind of expect. Most of them have at least an autograph and a relic in there. There's going to be some good stuff. There's going to be the good stuff is like the stuff that you wouldn't even think of on eBay Live. So I'm just going to minimum 50 cards, and it's baseball lots, football lots, basketball lots. And we start off with a couple cards, start the 3-minute timer, and I just keep throwing cards in. Keep throwing cards in. You get every card that you see per lot. And when the timer runs out, I stop putting cards in, and the high bidder gets it. So we're going to run 20 of those this afternoon, starting at 1 p.m. Central. Link is in the description. 7 o'clock tonight, Sunday singles. I've got 144, I think, singles auctions. I'm going to leave it at that. I was going to do a wild card round, do like 50 wild card, but since I'm going live twice today, I'm just going to stick to the preloaded cards, the 144. And then tomorrow's Major League Monday. So 10 a.m. Central, Monday morning, we'll do all baseball. So I think I'm going to do 200 baseball tomorrow morning at 10. I've got to get that set up. I got to get shell listings for that. That'll be like by request. So that'll be a request show. So I'm going to go blow my nose before we get to the chat. Let's bring the toilet paper in here. I'll probably be working in here for the morning. All right, let's go to the chat. What's going on? Happy Sunday. We've got Cooter in the house. What's going on? Herman, what's happening, Herman? He says hello to Cooter. Cooter says hi back. Florida baseball card dude, good morning. Todd is here. What's happening? Cooter says, hosting a choreographer from LA and his wife at the house you stayed at. They got 2 hours before their first tornado warning. Hey! That's breaking them in. That is breaking them in. Jody, what's happening? Goo all. He says, good morning all. Jody says, caught your pop-up last night. It was great. You went from about 70 plus views at my 9 p.m. hour to 244 at the end. Yeah. So we did get to over 200 viewers. And I think today is going to be, I don't know, last Sunday, what did I have? I think I had over 2,000 or just shy of 2,000 on Sunday singles last Sunday. So we'll see what this Sunday brings. That dude from Duryea says, what's up? I feel you on the shampoo. I've been so proud of remembering things only to find out I fucked up. Right. It's like you feel, because that's what we do. We typically fuck up when we have to go get stuff. And we feel so good. We feel like we've accomplished something only to be deflated when we get home. No, I wanted conditioner, not shampoo. Damn it. I was so close. I was one bottle away. Dan, what's going on? Red lights in the house. Good morning. Cooter says, how is your star inventory holding up with all the live sales? Better plan another OKC sourcing trip. I am now, a month ago, I'm like, I've got way too much inventory. And now it's like, crap, I need to do some more sourcing. I'm in talks with somebody about a collection in the Chicago area. I actually put out, I need 80s football stars and rookies, like 1980 to 1988, 89 rookies, Hall of Famer stars in bulk. So I'm going to actually that's probably something I'll be looking at least online sourcing when I am in Florida this week. And I actually put a post up on my Madison Card Show. My Madison Card Show page has like almost 5,000 followers or whatever they call it on Facebook. But I don't think anybody's answered my call. No, my mom liked it though. 4 people liked it. Oh, 4 shares though. That's good. I'm sure mom was one of them. So 4 likes. So, but yeah, I'm looking for 80s stars and rookies in bulk. Andy, good morning. Gem City Card Show, what's happening? Good morning. Dave Arnold, the Bushnell Prairie City Spartans are perfect in losing. 0-31, BPC, say it ain't so. I thought Bushnell was it last year Bushnell was really good? Man. Orlando, what's going on? Great show yesterday on Hobby Hotline. I really enjoyed the conversation. A lot of Hall of Fame talk, Pete Rose and Joe Jackson news. Gem City says, reach out to Kerry at American Arbitrage. I think he lives in Orlando now. He will have some places to suggest to source for sure. I will be several hours, I think, from Orlando. I'll be down in the Miami area. So I don't know if he's, although he might, because I don't think he's not from Florida, but some of his guys, I think, like Dave and Rod, I think they are from Florida. I know they live up north, but yeah, if anybody, I think Orlando, you're down in Miami. Are there any card shops in, I'm going to be up around Boynton Beach, Boca Raton. I think this coming Friday, I may have free time on Friday to find a card shop down in that area, Boynton Beach, Boca Raton, that vicinity. Dan says, please scroll up and see my question. I am scrolling up and I do not see your question. This is the only comment I see. Hey. Unless that's a question, I don't see it. Mike Petty says, I'm up early and get to hang out with Orlando. Hell yeah. Gem City says he's transient. Orlando thanks Petty. I know some Pokemon bros in Boca. I'm not looking to source Pokemon. No Pokemon. Andy says, eBay Live seems great. I'm going to start up. All I need to do is spend several years doing radio, develop an online following, and get a personality. Then I'll be good to go. Hey, there you go. Anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. So yeah, I don't really have anything. It's kind of like this is like a trend on Hobby Evolution. Like I just don't have anything. eBay Live is like all I have to talk about. That's like all I'm not paying attention. I'm not paying attention to any hobby news. I think Series 2 dropped, or was it just the pre-sale that dropped? I know we've got a couple other products out that I need to that I'd like to just buy, but I just no time, and I don't need to buy it for inventory. So yeah. Let's see. Orlando does not know of any shops in Boynton Beach. Damn it. Carrie says, Matt Shaw is heating up. Matt Shaw is on fire right now. He should absolutely be in Chicago. There is no reason that the Cubs in Chicago should keep toting out Vidal Brujan and John Birdie and Nicky Lopez at third base. Now, I will say, I love John Birdie as a bench player. John Birdie is the perfect 26th man on a roster. He's the type of player teams sign for playoff runs. I like having that based on his speed and his defensive flexibility. Vidal Brujan and Nicky Lopez should be somewhere else. Not in certainly not in Chicago. Matt Shaw should not be in Des Moines, Iowa. Matt Shaw is just absolutely on frickin' fire in Orlando. Let's tell you. And I also want to, speaking of Iowa Cubs, Matt Shaw. Let's look up at Matt Shaw's stats. Come on, Google. All right, Matt Shaw, minor league stats. Minors. Okay, 2025 Iowa. So Matt Shaw slashing 286, 409, 560. He has a 969 OPS. That's really, really good. He has 5 stolen bases, 6 home runs and 91 at bats. Only 11 strikeouts to 17 walks. Matt Shaw should be playing third base with the Chicago Cubs. Now, there's a relief pitcher that I want to share some stats with you that is also in Des Moines, Iowa in AAA and shouldn't be. Come on. And you've probably heard of him from this show. His name is Ethan Roberts. So 2025 Chicago Cubs. He has an inflated ERA, but it's because of one game. Ethan had a win with his time in Chicago, pitched in 9 games I think he pitched in 9 out of 13 games. So they really wore his arm up. Pitched 8 1/3 innings, gave up 5 earned runs, but I think 4 came in a game. We'll look that up. He had 6 strikeouts to 2 walks, allowed hitters 258. Let's look at his game log because I'm pretty sure one game skewed that. So his last appearance on April 26th against the Phillies, he pitched 2 innings and gave up 4 earned runs. He only gave up 5 earned runs in 9 games. 4 of them were in 1 game. So excluding 1 game, he pitched 6 1/3 innings, allowing 5 hits, 1 earned run, 0 home runs, and 5 strikeouts, 0 walks, with the exception of the 1 game, and that's when he was demoted. Now, let's take a look at Ethan Roberts. So he gets sent to AAA Iowa, and now in Iowa, he's thrown 9 2/3 innings with a 0.93 ERA and a 1.03 WHIP. He's got a 44% strikeout rate to a 7% walk rate. He's allowing hitters are batting 194 against him. Pretty damn good. So little updates on the some guys in Iowa. Gem City says, here's some hobby news. Menards had Bowman blasters, and now they are sold out. Free shipping to store. Interesting. You know, we've talked about this. And I think when people say junk wax era 2.0, I'm like, it's not the junk wax era 2.0. It's not really the junk wax era until you can go to your barber shop and Menards to buy baseball cards. And guess where baseball cards are now? The last couple of years, they've shown up at Barnes & Noble. Now they're at Menards, Best Buy. Now you're seeing baseball cards, boxes and packs of cards where you never saw them before, kind of like what we saw in 1991. You could access cards anywhere, which is good and bad. It's good because it introduces, how do you 10X the hobby? You don't 10X the hobby we have 92 people watching right now, plus me, 93. The 93 of us watching right now, you don't need Topps Fanatics doesn't need to market to us. We're in. If we are consuming baseball card content on YouTube, they've hooked us long ago. They hooked us long ago. They don't need to market to us. So when they do new things, if we don't like it, that's okay. They're not marketing to us. They need to market to Frank, my old neighbor, Frank, because I guarantee you Frank wasn't into baseball cards. But if Frank walks into Branson, Missouri, some little gift shop, and he's like, oh, baseball cards. When I was a little boy, I paid a penny a card for these. And maybe Frank buys, or maybe Frank has some grandkids. That's how you 10X. You 10X by getting people that are not within the hobby. And where are people? You put cards in Target, Walmart. They've always been there. Yeah. Can it entice non-collectors? Absolutely. Like, oh, I was in Target and it just happened to be next to the card aisle. And hey, I remember buying cards 30 years ago. So yes, absolutely. But then all of a sudden they start popping up in Best Buy, Menards, Home Depot, Barnes and Noble. And more people that are not within the hobby start buying these. And now, does that mean all of the people that buy a pack or buy a box of cards will stick and end up watching YouTube content on baseball cards on Sunday morning? No. But some may stick. Where are we at? Dad Dude says, I caught some of the live last night. Curious how prices carry over from one to another for the same card. It is fascinating. It is absolutely fascinating because there was something that sold for $1 last night that I think sold for like $8 previously. Now, I will tell you something that boggles my mind, and I have about 25 of them just sitting in a box. 1990 NBA Hoops Sean Kemp, I think last Sunday sold for $8. For a 90 Hoops Sean Kemp, $8. And I'm like, I'm like, I'm just gonna run one of these tonight. Last night, sold for $6. Like, wow, 90 NBA Hoops Sean Kemp rookies apparently are holding up on eBay Live. Some of it doesn't hold up, and some of it within the same auction doesn't hold up. I have a stack of, I don't know if it's Collector's Edge or something, but it's some like off-brand. And it's a Kobe Bryant card from like 1998. And I ran it last, I think it was Sunday or maybe one of the auctions this week. It sold for $1. And I'm like, I can't believe a Kobe card, even though it's kind of an off-brand, only sold for $1. I ran another one because I have like 15 of them. I ran another one towards the end. It sold for $4. Same exact auction, just an hour later. Went from $1 to $4. And it all depends. And that's the beauty of live selling. Is I could throw, and I'm learning with each auction and just kind of experimenting what I throw on. It's fascinating what things can go for, and I'll try to pick up on trends. Vintage is not a good seller. I could list an early 70s card. I could list a 74 Topps Mike Schmidt, and it might only sell for $5. I could list an 85 Topps Mike Schmidt and it'll sell for $5. It's so weird. Some of the stuff that goes for so cheap. It's fascinating. I am absolutely fascinated by the whole live selling market. And since it's been so successful, I'm more fascinated because if I was struggling, I would probably be less enthused, obviously. I think when we find success breeds success, where on the opposite end of the spectrum, failure tends to breed failure. And that's why so many quit live selling, because it's not instant success. eBay Live has been, but that's because it's the eBay platform. You go on Whatnot. Also, eBay Live, I don't have much competition. I don't know if there were any other sports card auctions going on last night when I went live at 7:30. Let's go to the live console today. And I'm sure today's Sunday singles, so there's going to be a lot more eBay Live. There's going to be more sports cards today because it's something eBay markets. Hey, I am on the new seller spotlight. Yes. So this is the eBay Live. I made it. I'm somebody. I'm in the phone book. All right. eBay Live. So they have a new seller spotlight, and look at who is there. Me and Baseball Card Exchange and a Pokemon seller. Look at that. 3 1 million Cubs auctions right there on the homepage. New seller spotlight. My progressive lots coming up at 1 today. Baseball Card Exchange going live at 5. They've got high grade football at 5 p.m. Oh, a 69 Topps football high grade set break for Baseball Card Exchange. That's fun. I might have to pop into that just to watch. I'll say hi to the guys. Usually Steve and Billy are doing the live. Awesome dudes. Single Sunday tonight, 7 p.m. You got Pop Plays Pokemon. And then there's my MLB Monday tomorrow morning at 10. So let's go into the sports trading card. So ComC goes live at 11. So look at this. Like, I have no competition at 1 o'clock. I'm sure ComC's probably still going to be running their auction, but it's probably just going to be me and ComC at 1 o'clock. And there's not, man, I might try to throw some more because there's not any more competition until 5 tonight. And then tonight, those will probably still be going. And then we get some, but there's not much competition. Tomorrow at 10 a.m., I'm the only sports card auction until PCB comes on at 11. So that really helps with the audience, with having less competition. You go to Whatnot, you're going to have a lot. I mean, they let anybody sell on Whatnot. So you've got the barrier to entry is so minimal on Whatnot, which is good. You can get in, you can sell, you can develop an audience, but it takes time and you have to develop that. You have to be patient. And a lot of us, myself included, we are impatient. And if we don't see instant success and instant results, we tend to give up on it. So I encourage you, if you do want to go into live selling, try Whatnot. Don't wait, just jump in, just do it. Just do it. If you want to do live selling, if you want to do eBay Live right now, like they're adding sellers, but they're looking for sellers with a social media. They're looking for, if they have a YouTube or video presence for presentation, they're looking for live selling experience, a social media following, and you can do that. It may not be, it's not like next week they're going to ask you to do it, but anybody can do it. Get a microphone or a camera, and you know how shitty sometimes my cameras and microphones are. Anybody can do it. So do practice runs. Just do Whatnot. And whether you like, if you don't like Whatnot, try a different platform. Go to DibDit, which is on the District platform. That's American Arbitrage and Commonwealth Picker and ADH Dave. That's their platform on the District network. And I know Brian, and you may not have instant success, and just keep doing it. And okay, if this isn't working, if you're zigging and it's not working, try to zag and see if that sticks, and just keep playing around with it. Practice patience. Where we at? Uncle Rich in the house. Good morning. Gem City says Ethan Roberts is shat on, and it's because he's a nice guy. I'm convinced of it. It does suck, man. Unfortunately, it's the business of baseball. It's unfortunately, I mean, fortunately and unfortunately, it's not personal. It's completely business related. Ethan has options. He has 5 options. So Chicago, the Cubs, can put him on a bus back and forth from Des Moines because they have flexibility. Where some of the relievers they have in Chicago don't have options, or may have limited options. And if they suck, they either stick with them in Chicago, or they have to release the pitcher. And and then you call, and what if you have injury? So it's like everything in life. It's just this delicate balance. It sucks. Honestly, it comes down to, if he didn't have options, he may not have a job with the Chicago Cubs. If Ethan didn't have options, the Cubs probably would not have kept him, because they signed all these new relievers And it was basically you come back and prove it. You've got to prove it. And he's absolutely proving it. Both in Chicago, when called upon, he had one bad outing, shipped back to Iowa, and now he's absolutely, crushing it in Iowa. And he will be back. He'll be back at some point soon. There's so much fluidity in major league bullpens. And a guy having the success that Ethan and Luke Little having great success in Iowa as well. And I'm surprised he hasn't gotten more of a shot in Chicago this year. Rich says, and yes, no real hobby news going on. It's kind of the dog. I keep thinking it's June. It's only May 18th, which is good. We are now a month out from the Madison Card Show debut at the Alliant Energy Center. And I'm just about ready to unleash the floor plans and booking for the June 21st Madison Card Show. I have one more page to fill out on the website to get uploaded, and then I need to I'm going to do a test run to make sure everything is good to go and everything works on the back end that should be. I do want to wait for the city and the fire marshal to approve it, because I don't want to all of a sudden sell out the venue and, you've got to cut 7 tables or 5 tables or whatever, or you've got to rearrange this. And now my floor plan is all for naught. And I've got even a bigger hassle to deal with. So if you're wondering how come I haven't started booking for June, this is why. I'm waiting for city approval, basically, on the floor plan at the Alliant Energy Center. And I will start booking. So the July Madison Card Show right before the National. If you were in last month, if you've been a regular, you're in. I will do some follow-ups probably at the show next month. Next month. Are you in for next month back at the Sheraton? The Pokemon show I will start booking. It'll be booked like we did it last year. And so we'll do that once I get, probably within the next few weeks, probably before the June show. But once I get June, to a good point in the booking process, which I feel that as soon as those tables go, this is a first world problem. The night, one of the days this week where it was really nice, my wife and I were outside, and I'm like, I think I had sent out an email. I'd sent out an email to my dealer list. And by the way, Rich, you'll be proud. I utilized Constant Contact. I'm paying for it just because of what I need it for. So I did utilize Constant Contact last week. And so I'm building I'm finally 4 years later, I'm building my mailing list. And I had so many people reaching out and following up to my email. And I'm like complaining to my wife, and I'm like, I sent the email. It had everything in there, and I'm still getting questions. And she looks at me like, with that, really? Like, this is what you're complaining about? She's like, you should be happy that not only are they opening your email, but they're responding and they want to be in your show. And I'm like, okay, I'm an idiot. You are correct. And that I say that a lot. I'm an idiot. You are right. I think my open rate was like 50% which is probably pretty high. I know my eBay open rate's like 3% or something. So a 50% open rate on my Madison Card Show email was pretty good. Lofi Joe says the Menards here been selling cards for a while, mostly Pokemon lately. So I actually, surprisingly, I actually do go to Menards. I have not seen cards at my Menards, but I'm also not like looking for cards. Usually when I go to Menards, I'm like, I know exactly where, also surprisingly, I know exactly where I'm going. Because usually when I'm at Menards, I only need, usually I only go for shelving units, bird feed, and outdoor stuff. So, and I know exactly where that stuff is. But on some occasions, I need to find like something random. I'm like, I look like I'm in a foreign land. I have no idea where I'm going. But I haven't seen any. But I'm sure my Menards does have cards somewhere. Orlando says they sell baseball cards at Cracker Barrel restaurants. And when you think about it, I almost went, and they've been selling cards at Cracker Barrel for a while, because I remember back, this may have been pre-COVID. They had Bowman mega boxes, and you know how back in the day when Bowman mega boxes were like $20, it was a great deal. Now they're 50, and screw that. But the nearest I think there's one on the east side of Madison, but there's also one in Janesville. And I was going to drive down to Janesville and then hit up the east side Cracker Barrel. Maybe the east side closed. I don't know. I think, like with many of us, I'm going to blow my nose. I think with many of us, we haven't gone to a Cracker Barrel since our grandparents passed away. Like, I don't remember the last time I went to a Cracker Barrel. It was probably 30 plus years ago. But yes, I do remember Cracker Barrel selling Bowman mega boxes. And this was the mega box craze, the chase, like 2018, 2019, where I would like go from Target to Target searching for mega boxes and usually come up empty. Chris says, good morning. Less than a month away from my work conference in Milwaukee, then the side trip to Madison afterward. Yes. When are you coming? When are you going to be in Madison? Gem City says it's like 1,000 boxes at a time. They list the quantity available, so it's not junk wax, but basketball wax is going to be so cheap when the transition of licenses happens, and I'm excited for that. Max says you can take one away from that number. The 10X, the hobby mentality, lost one guy here. Zach says Frank doesn't sound anything like that. Probably not. But I bet Frank goes to Cracker Barrel. Gem City says pour out a lacrosse for Max. Mike Petty says they need to market to bigger idiots than us. It's the Kaboomies plastic era. It is. We Now, I'm curious because I was a kid during the junk wax era. So I don't know, like I don't have like outside of what I've read, I have a little bit of sense of what it was like. Because I was a kid dealer at a couple card shows. Like, I mean, we're talking like small 10-table community center, Anawan, Illinois card shows. And I had no idea what I was doing. But I'm curious, what did people in the, like our age now, which we're a pretty wide range, probably 40 to 60, 65 in here. I'm curious what that age range said back in 1991. Like what were the us of 1991? Like were they complaining about, I'm sure they were talking about prices of cards, Upper Deck, when Upper Deck came in. I mean, you pull out an old Beckett from 1989, 1990, 1991, and guess what? Everybody's complaining about the prices of cards. And guess what people are complaining about in 2025? Prices of cards. But I'm curious what the 50-plus crowd was. That was a nickel. Gosh, they're 50 cents a pack now. And I remember my elders saying that. You know, I'd go by and my dad would be like, God, 50 cents for a pack of baseball cards? And guess what people are saying now? $20, $30 for a box of cards, for a small box? Andy says, print the shit out of them. I love my son and his friends being able to find cards. It is. And here's what we're going to run into though. Your son and his friends, they're going to find cards, and just like us as kids. And in 30 years, they're going to be worth nothing. And although since we've been through it before, the mindset's probably different. Like we know, like modern stuff, modern cards, like I already know it's worthless. And it's not like worthless in 20, 30 years. It's worthless like right now. I don't want, if I see a bargain box that's mostly cards from the last couple years, like I just walk away. Like show me 80s and 90s and early 2000s. Like I'm so tired, unless it's like Bowman, unless I see those shiny. If I see the shiny in a quarter box, yeah, I'm attracted to the light. I'm like a mosquito, and I'm gonna go chase that Bowman. But if it's a bunch of Topps base, oh my God, if I see any more Topps base from the last couple of years, Or people like, oh, I've got boxes and boxes of 2024 tops. And like, burn it. Keep it away from me. I don't want to see it. But when it comes to tops, print the shit out of it. I agree with Andy in that regard. Tops should be printed to the moon. But I think there should be, and this is just my opinion. I think Topps flagship Series 1, Series 2, and updates should be printed to demand. Like, just print the shit out of it and more. Print it more than demand. So it's accessible everywhere. But there should be on the higher end products. I think Bowman, maybe tame it a little bit. Like, even though I want Bowman, I don't want Bowman to be junk. And that's personal. That's my personal feeling because I love Bowman and I don't want it to be junk. But I feel there should be like a hierarchy of prints on the print run on some of these cards, where the higher I'm just trying to think off the top of my head, what are some of the other products that, they should have less of a print run? Lofi Joe says, my Ace Hardware has Topps blasters behind the register now. See, now we're getting there. When Ace Hardware starts carrying cards, because Menards, and I know Ace Hardware Ace isn't the place anymore. Menards and Home Depot and Lowe's, they're the place. Ace is kind of like your small hometown. Ace is the place for your healthy hardware. It's like I guess that's what they want it to be, right? It's in their jingle. But yeah, when your small town Ace Hardware, I don't know, maybe Lofi Joe's in a big city, I don't know. But if your small town Ace Hardware has cards, then it's like, oh wow, okay, here we are. Rich says you got $9 for a Broder like Nolan Ryan card last night, probably a world record. Yes. Did I really? I know I got $5 for a Frank Thomas Fleer medal. I was really happy with that. Some of my Steph Currys were going for super high. A 92-93 Fleer Ultra Michael Jordan went for 13. I'm just trying to think. I think the base Donruss Steph Curry went for like 6 or 7. But then like the Rod Woodson, the Rod Woodson might have went for like 3, which is good. The Seiya Suzuki Purple Chrome rookie went for like 10. The Gunnar Henderson Rookie of the Year favorites, and I have like 20 of these, sold for like 8, I think. And then like a Sam Bachman autograph to 99 went for $1. I think the Jim Thome green only went for $1 or $2. So it's crazy. And a Kobe Bryant that went for like 6 that I thought would have went for 10, 12 bucks. Mark is here. What's going on? Back from Miami courtside. Interesting show, but picked up in OJ King Kelly. Very nice. Very nice. King Kelly. Zach says, I saw that, Kemp. Between that and the Junk Wax era cards you are selling is insane. It is. I mean, demand is super high on 80s and 90s stuff that normally I would throw in my buy it now section and it would sit for months, if not years. It's crazy what some of this stuff is going for on eBay Live. Carrie says, when I was a kid, cards were in just about every drugstore, grocery store, and 5 and dime. Yeah, back in the day. Orlando says, nice pickup, Mark. That dude from Duryea says, curious how it affects the comps long-term on lower-end cards like 90 hoops. That's a really good comment. Like, when we see these is, when I would go look at comps on a 1990 NBA hoops, I'm like, well, that's an outlier. But now we've got 2 comps of $6 and $8 on a 1990 NBA hoops, Sean Kemp. So when does it become the reality and not just an outlier? 1990 hoops, Sean Kemp. You can get a PSA 9, buy it now for $17. Best offer might even be on that. So let's look at sold 1990. Oh, but here's the thing. My Sean Kemps are not showing in comps because they're shell listings. So it's a lot of this stuff is not going to skew the comps unless I have it preloaded. So I think both of the Sean Kemps, and I just looked at the solds, both of the Sean Kemps that sold for $6 and $8 will not show up on eBay sold because they weren't listed. They were listed in shell listings. So it's the as shown on screen. Which is so a lot of this stuff's not going to be showing up on comps, and a lot of sellers are doing the as shown on screen listings. It's like I've talked about for the last few days. It's just it's easy for the seller. It's easier for sellers, and it's more engaging for the buyer's experience as well, because if I have, like tonight, it's all preloaded. It's good for buyers that want specific items. Okay, you've got 144 cards. Oh, I want this one and this one, but I don't care about the rest. I'll try to tune in at this point. But for the rest, it's when you do the shell listings, it's like, what do you want? Do you want a Sean Kemp 90 hoops? No, we want football. We want Josh Allen. We want Joe Burrow. We want Steph Curry. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, so I have that flexibility, and the chat can drive what we sell. To an extent, depends on what I have. A lot of people, do you have slabs? Well, I got a few, but I'm not going to put them up right now. Do you have autographs? Yeah, but I don't have Josh Allen or Aaron Judge autographs, but I've got Sam Bachman and Enoch Buakye. Which I think the Enoch Buakye sold for like $7 or $8, which it's like, I would have put that in a $1 box. Rich says you have good rhythm when you host. The radio days really help on that. Yeah, and who would have thought spending my youthful days in my 20s doing play-by-play and radio, and it did doing play-by-play in as technology grew. When I did play-by-play in radio, I was basically hosting. I was doing everything. I had access to our studio from my laptop on site. And this is, once Wi-Fi connections were solid. This is going back, almost 15 years now. But I had, you can get into a remote computer. It's like remote. I don't know what it is, but it's a program where you can access other computers from anywhere, basically. And so I was running that program from a gym in Galesburg, Illinois. And I was running, I had access to the studio, and I had the commercial list. I didn't have to play it from a recorder, because back in the day, 20 years ago, 20 years ago, I would either you do live reads, you have your script in front of you, your paper script, and well, today's game is brought to you by Arnold Brothers Heating and Cooling and Swedes Auto Body, fixing fenders since 49. And but I'm talking the entire time. Not only am I doing play-by-play, but I'm now also reading the commercials as well. And then it's like, well, we can record these commercials and have music set behind them. And it's almost like the studio is running the commercials, but you're pushing play from your recorder. And it also saves on engineer fees back at the studio. You don't have somebody, or a lot of times we had college kids running the boards at the studio, and they're effing around or don't show up. Oh, we don't have a studio host today. And then I was able to run remote, and now I'm able to multitask. And so multitasking is a huge part of live selling, especially when you're doing shell listings. It's like, oh, you want Josh Allen? Let me see. Let's run this card while I search for Josh Allen, and you're able to multitask. Andy says, some percent of the highest sales are someone going to bid $2, someone else clicks first, and you end up clicking for $3. Yes, absolutely. Long SP. Rich says, and yes, there were a couple I thought when I screwed up and lost you for a few minutes. You are in early. Enjoy it while you can. Absolutely. And hopefully eBay said they're going to keep it. They're not going to open it up like whatnot. It's going to be more restrictive than other live platforms. So hopefully they do stick to that. But they will be adding more and more live sellers to the platform. So, right now I'm still, even though eBay Live has been going on for 2 years, it's been essentially neglected. And now they actually have people in charge. They've created like positions for eBay Live overseeing the platform. So getting in on it now with the marketing, and they're running things like, hey, would you be interested in this? And we'll push, marketing towards you. And it's like, yes, I want that. Gem City says he was born a poor black boy and look at him now. Yes. Might be my favorite movie of all time, The Jerk. Steve Martin, an icon. Lofi Joe says eBay Live is very selective as who they let sell. Johnny M in the house. Good morning. What amazes me is how many people have nothing better to do with their lives than spend time on live auctions. Here's the thing, though. It's 10 o'clock. I'm eating a bowl of cereal. I'm like, oh, hey, PCB's on. And now for me, it's more, it's kind of like studying. It's research. And I haven't bought much on eBay Live from other sellers because stuff sells for higher than I expect. I did buy something I got a deal on like a Chase DeLauder auto, color auto. I think I paid like $11 or something. And it's in my eBay store for like 40 or 50. I might throw that on eBay Live at some point. We'll see if I get more than I paid for it on eBay Live. Max says live selling is a massive uphill battle right now. Either easy platform to get in that is flooded or impossible platform to get in that has 5 sellers per category. That's a good point. That's a really good point. But you can get in. Like, that's good and bad. That's absolutely good and bad. The good is you can get on a platform with ease. The barrier to entry is low on whatnot. You can get in, but you've got to build an audience. And it's not easy to build an audience, and it doesn't happen overnight. Nothing happens overnight. And I think that's something even I have to consider. So it's like, okay, when stuff sells for below what I want, it's like, well, but I got this for that. You got to take the wins with the losses. And I know as I continue, the more shows I do, the more live buyers I get, and the more eBay puts into marketing and pushes eBay Live, the more people come in, the more people see me, and it just continues to snowball. Rich says options are season long. Yes, so there's 5. So basically, a full year of options is 5. And so Ethan has 4 options left, so they can send him back 4 times, and it depends on contract status. So this is the old. This is not how that's how it used to be. It's not year long anymore. You have a certain amount of options. So I think Ethan has 4 now. I think he had 5 coming into the season. Gem City says, in WNBA is going on now. Clark is still good. Dare I say, great. Boy, she hit the news yesterday, the news cycle. Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark kind of gave back what Angel Reese, and I don't feel bad because look how bullied Caitlin Clark was all season a year ago, and she just let it go, and now she's fighting. I like it. I like to see that fighting back. Dad Dude from Duryea says eBay is seeing huge profits just as the live sellers. There will be plenty of live sales sooner than later. I'm not sure what the market will look like once that begins. Rich says, yay. See, he may be stubborn, but eventually he listens. So I think that's about constant contact. Awesome to be over 50%. The key is to grow social and learn to live sell. The audiences will follow. That's my 2 cents. Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially when it comes to whatnot. What I've noticed is, and so this show in my following is a lot of resellers. Like, you're watching my show, you found my show because you do the same thing I do, and you're reselling and flipping on eBay, and you're into low-end sports cards. And what I noticed early on in eBay, a lot of my buyers I'm familiar with from my show. And then as more people came in, now it boosts the price. And as a reseller myself, when I go into a live, if I can get I'm only looking for deals. unless it's a Cubs card. And so if it's going for more, I'm not going to spend. And now the more other audiences, the new people that aren't coming in from my content, coming from eBay and driving up prices, I see less and less sales from the familiar names in here. And I completely understand why. It's like, well, I wouldn't spend $8 on a Sean Kemp 90 NBA hoops, but there's others that will. Rich says, I'm now about 40% since I've gone weekly, but the response is better. Nice. Max says, what is emails anyways? People still use that. Well, unfortunately, I don't have the time to Facebook message 350 different people and text and all that. So email is the way to go. Unless there's there might be a way within Constant Contact to sync up. And I'll look, now that I pay for it, I can probably figure this out where I can shoot this out to everybody that's Facebook messaged me and Instagram messaged me and texted me and Twitter messaged me. I think that's all. I think that's the ones, but I mean, it's a pain enough when I have to move 25 dealers from one room to another and type something up and copy and paste it and send it text, Facebook. People are so appreciative that I do detailed information about DFW Sports Cards events. Rich says to Max, young man, you'd be very surprised. Yeah, you would be surprised. I wouldn't, Rich. I have 140K plus unread messages. I think you would see how. I will tell you, I have only 1,066. I had like 500,000 at one point, but most of them were junk. Like, I don't open most of my emails because they're junk. Let's just go through my emails. Babbel, Blackhawk Trending Post, that's Nextdoor app. Crate and Barrel Outlet, Dibdit, Walgreens, Guns.com. I don't know why I get stuff from Guns.com. Under Armour, Beloit Skycarp, Fanatics.com, Crate and Barrel. Oh, that's probably a Christmas gift or something for my wife. Live Auctioneers, Target, Classmates.com, Blaine's Farm and Fleet, Shoe Mall, UW Health, Feedback, Live Auctioneers, Pristine Auctions, LinkedIn, Live Auctioneers, Blaine's Farm and Fleet, Uber, Antique Auctions, WordPress, National Bobblehead Hall of Fame. You get the drift. That's why I have a similar amount of unread messages. Chris says, I'll be there the afternoon of June 19th, flying out of Madison at 3 p.m. on the day of the card show. Oh, you can come to the card show. If you're flying out of Madison, you can come to the card show. Gem City says, Victor did a great video response to Jeff Wilson's junk wax era 2.0 complaints. I'll have to check that out. I think I did. Oh, I did see that pop up on my YouTube. Mike Petty says, we traded all the new Chase hits for vintage. Billy Ripken F face cards were traded for Koufax and Banks rookies. Max says, so you're saying 10x the hobby and print the shit out of stuff, but you aren't buying any of it. I buy Top Series 1 at release. I'm not going to buy it later. I absolutely think Top Series 1, Series 2, and Update should be printed to the moon. And I do buy Series 1 at release. Rumor has it that chromium causes cancer. Need some healthy nuts and bolts. I went Ruth Chris Steakhouse and they had Wemby Nebulous in the lobby. Shane, what's going on? All about the goats on eBay Live. Is Sean Kemp a goat, though? Is Sean Kemp a goat? Mike Petty says Sean Kemp has 14 kids with 13 women. I think that's an accurate number, too. Comps don't register on eBay after lives, correct. They should. It's just it's an auction. So as long as it's, what was the last, I'm trying to think when my last auction was with preloaded listings. I don't know, but they should. Yeah. Andy Mack says shell listings is fucking amazing about eBay Live. Who cares if you sell slightly under comps? Sometimes you sell a lot of stuff above comps and almost every card sells, plus no time building listings. It is. And that's what I told my eBay rep this week. I'm like, this is why I like shell listings. And it's not like they say don't do it or do it. It was just my observation. I passed on. I'm like, here's my thoughts on doing the as shown on screen, which was something initially I didn't want to do. It's like, maybe I'll do it like at the National, I'll do shell listings. And then all of a sudden it's like, I'm just going to try it. I'm like, oh my God, this is a game changer. So I like that flexibility. Like, hey, what do you want? You want Steph Curry? All right, here's Steph Curry. And I think it helps the buyer, like, oh, hey, I'm not just going to pop in. They might stay longer because, hey, what else is he going to have for me? Whereas if it's 100 or 200 preloaded listings, it's like, well, it's mostly baseball and I want basketball and football, so I'm not going to join his live stream today. Rich says, you got a ton of money for that final item with Justin Steele. Yeah, I think it sold for $30, $29, $30, which I probably paid like $5 for it several years ago, and I have like several of them. I was happy with 30. I almost didn't want to put it up, but I'm like, yeah, you know what? I have multiple of these. If it sells for less than I would go out and buy for it right now, and he's out for the season. I mean, it still went for, a tick under $30. So I was very happy with that. Chris says, Screen Connect. It's what my IT department uses when they need to fix a problem on my computer. Yeah, it's Screen Connect. I'm trying to think of there was a software program. Oh my God, I can't think of the name. It's on the tip of my tongue too. Mike Petty says, I want to do shell listings because I'm a shell of my former self. Rich ran a board during some of our college b-ball games. That was after I did not need to take the third level engineering test anymore. Oh, ran the board. Yeah. See, you're showing your age on that one. That was back in the day. When I came into radio, the engineering and the radio test, back in the day, you had to have a license to be on the radio. That was all we didn't have to do. Basically, when I got into radio in the my first radio job was 2001. I think December of 2001 was when I was first hired in radio. Getting a job in radio was as easy as selling on Whatnot. I mean, there was like, fill out an application, they call you back, can you read this script? Oh, hey, you sound good, you're hired. But I know back in the day, not long before I was in, probably as late as the 90s, I think you had to have some sort of licensing and testing to be hired on radio. I will tell you that I learned how to do a 30-second or 1-minute break during the games as well. There you go. He hates the cans. And some of the nightmares back in the day about setting up for a broadcast. Rich is a jack of all trades. Today would have been a piece of cake. Oh, with the computers? Yeah, absolutely. My first radio job was most radio stations didn't have reel-to-reel anymore because it was in the early 2000s, but we were a very small rural station, so we still used reel-to-reel, and we had like a portable if you can imagine what a portable reel-to-reel machine, it's like a suitcase. It literally was in a suitcase. And our sales reps would take portable reel-to-reels in this suitcase. And you had to, I don't remember. We didn't have to splice, like actually splice with a knife. But I remember using reel-to-reel and recording on reel-to-reels back in the first station I worked at. And we had we had a computer. The radio program we used was called Digilink, and it was like straight out of 1983. It was just a dinosaur of a machine. This is still the early days of the internet. 5 years since it was kind of a thing. I think 96 was the first time I remember being online. But yeah, the early days at that radio station. Rich says to Mike, that background is why I'm a decent guest on things like Jeremy Lee's show. From what I hear, if you were starting on Whatnot, make sure you start with most of the items you can afford to get too low of a price on. Absolutely. And even like with my eBay Live, like I won't put certain things on, especially if I have a sense of I'll kind of throw out certain items that I feel are similar to, okay, I want to, like the Justin Steele auto. I was 50-50 on if that was going to sell for higher than I would have wanted. I was $15 was kind of like it's like if it sells for less than 15, I'll be disappointed. If it sells for more than 15, I'm glad I ran it. And it sold for 30. But I run other things and it's like, okay, there were other autographs of Enoch Boakye that sold for like $6 or $8. And it's like, okay, if Enoch Boakye can sell for $8, I think I can get at least 15 for Justin Steele. So I throw out little test runs. And it's basically within my own brain, like, okay, I think if this sells for X amount and there's people bidding on it, I think this will get at or above what I'm expecting. And so there's some things it's like, okay, one of the things that sold for way under was an 81 Topps George Brett. I thought that would bring $5-6 on eBay Live. And it sold for $1. That was probably the biggest surprise on the other end of the spectrum was, I've sold like an 85 Topps George Brett for like $4 or $5 on eBay Live. And I'm like, an 81 Topps, probably get a couple more bucks out of it. Only sold for $1. So it's like, okay, I'm going to back off on some of the early 80s stuff because I know from past experience on eBay Live, I have buyers in the room that will spend $5 to $10 on a card like that. But tonight, it's only going to go for $1. I'm not going to put other early 80s stars up for auction tonight based on that one sale. Now, by the end of the show, like I mentioned with Kobe, went from $1 early in the show to $4 later on. That can change based on who comes into the room. But I kind of get that. I kind of get that sense of what things are going for. Steph Curry and Shohei Ohtani were selling for big last night, and I just had the right amount of buyers that were looking for Steph Curry and Shohei Ohtani, and sold a couple of Ohtanis for like $8-10. Same with Curry, like a Donruss base sold for like $6. It's like, okay, well, you want Steph Curry, you want Ohtani, let's put more of these up. Rich sends us a link, glossary transactions, 40-man roster for option information. Did I have it wrong? Because they just recently changed the options. I don't know. Ethan was at spring training. Ethan was explaining it to me, and I can't remember how it worked. But I know he has 5. I think he has 5 options. Is what he said. I can't remember. Rich says I have 1,300 names on my mailing list using MailChimp, and 2K is the magic number at which point I'll have to switch to Constant Contact. And Constant Contact is when I looked at both of them, and then I had my wife look because she's smarter than me. And had her check it out. And Constant Contact had, I think, more options, but it was similar on the contacts. The pricing was pretty similar. Remote access is the shit. Yes. You need to certify that card from the famous 1 Million Cubs collection. I can use remote access to turn my 3D printers on and off. Love it. Uncle Rich says, I still have nightmares about splicing and using the white ink. Jim City says, I think my wife is one of the last people in America who had a job where they had to splice the film reels at the movie theater circa 2008. Wow. Very nice. I see Brett's like that in the quarter boxes and don't even buy them. Yeah, now I'm like, okay, well, I might buy, but I'm not going to go out and buy a bunch of them because I have a bunch of them in my basement already. So I've got to that's why I'm looking for 80s football because I don't have a lot of 80s football. Found Treasures is with us. What's going on? I'm going to wrap things up. It's almost 11 o'clock. I've got to get some sorting done. I'm just 2 hours away from the next eBay Live. 1 o'clock, we're doing progressive auctions here on eBay Live. Not here, but on eBay Live. So check it out this afternoon, 1 p.m. Central, progressive lots. We're going to run 20 of them. Timer starts at 3 minutes. I keep throwing cards in until the timer ends. The high bidder gets every card in that particular auction. So join me at 1 o'clock today over on eBay Live. And then again tonight, we're going to run singles, and those are preloaded so you can see what's going to be up for auction tonight at 7. Excuse me. on eBay Live. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Check out my eBay store, 99centcards.com. Buy 7 or more buy it now items at regular price. You'll save 25% off at checkout. And check me out on eBay Live in just over 2 hours, 1 p.m. Central. Have a wonderful Sunday. If I don't see you today or tonight on eBay Live, I'll see you back here tomorrow morning on Hobby Evolution. Have a great day.